Hello, fellow wealth hackers. Well, it's time for a weekly wealth insight. And this one is something that I've learned from a lot of people. I learned this from Mark Robinson at IAW, the International Academy of Wealth. I learned it from Roger Hamilton at the Genius U. And both of them spoke about the fact that you get three types of people. You get the people that want to do it themselves. Okay, and I deal with a lot of these people, okay, and they're used to kind of going out and trying to do it all themselves. And I often find these people are very frustrated because it takes years and years, and they're often very similar to me. I was very similar to this. I go out and like read all the books and go on all the courses, and I'm going to get all the knowledge myself, and I'm going to figure it all out myself. And then there are those of us that evolve, like I did, where, you know, in 2010, I worked really, really hard. 2009, my whole strategy in life was always to work harder than the guy next to me. I was always fitter than someone on the rugby pitch, or I worked harder at school or university. But in 2009, I was like literally burnt out. I couldn't work any harder in business. And that's when I learned that there's, you know, the first person tries to do it all themselves, like I said. The second type of person does it together. And they start to copy the laws of nature. And, you know, when a bird flies in a flock, it can fly 70% further. You know, the statistics that came out according to Deepak Chopra is if you try to do something on your own, you've got less than a 50% chance of succeeding. If you do it with a husband or a business partner or a friend or a wife, you've got about a 60% chance of succeeding. Whether you do it in a like-minded community, you've got a higher than 70% chance of succeeding. And I went with Roger Hamilton back in 2010. I went with Tony Robbins in 2010. And I just realized, like, getting around like-minded people, the last decade, I've got so much further, simpler and safer and quicker by doing it together. And that's why we created the Wealth Hacker community, was so that, you know, people could get there a lot quicker, simpler and safer. And then lastly, you know, there's those that want it done for them. And that's where, you know, time is their most valuable asset. And they want to chunk, say, 10 years into 2 years or 1 year. You know, they know that the rule of 10,000 hours is you go out and you know, read all the books and you go on all the courses and you join you get the coaches and the masterminds and everything in between. But at the end of the day, time is your most valuable resource. And they know that if they can chunk decades into days, then that is invaluable for them. And they're the type of people that join masterminds, that get coaches from people that have done it for 10, 20, 30 years, and they can chunk, as Tony Robbins says, decades into days. And so those are the three types of people. Do it yourself, do it with others, or have it done for you. You know, on our platform, we've created 3 different solutions for all 3 types of people. You know, if you want to literally do it yourself, you can literally go to wealthmigrate.com. You can invest on the platform. You can start from $10. If you want to do it with others, you can, you know, literally click on below. You can sign up our starter pack. You can join our Wealth Hacker community for 12 months. We'll do it together. Statistically, you've got a 70% chance of getting there quicker, safer, and simpler by doing it in community. And if you want to do it as part of the Diversification 5.0 Mastermind, where you'll literally work with me one-to-one, and I will do it for you. Okay, now I want to be clear. We're doing it together in a team because this is about accountability. But I will literally take personal attention to help you get it done. We can help you condense decades into days. And you know, that for me is the power of working together and a mastermind, basically. So I hope you enjoyed this weekly wealth insight. You get to choose. There's no right and there's no wrong. I can just safely say that I did the do-it-yourself. And just by the way, actually, funny enough, I've got an entire course here. I'm going to have to actually get rid of this plant just to show you what I mean, because this was the business course that I did, 32 discs with Tony Robbins. And, you know, and I did all the training and the course and everything, and I figured, like, no, man, there's got to be an easier way to do this. And that's when I joined Tony Robbins' mastermind. I joined Roger Hamilton's mastermind. And that's why, for me, the last decade, my results have just done that. But you get to choose. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you do. We bring these out every single Friday. Our weekly wealth insights where we learn from the best in the world. And for our wealth hackers, don't forget, next week we've got our CIO, Chief Investment Update. We're going to be talking about inflation. You know, the world's in a crazy place around inflation at the moment, both, you know, all over the world actually. With inflation going up, interest rates are going up. What do you do as an investor? Which asset classes do you look at? We're in uncertain times. There is literally predictability because the history repeats itself. What can you learn from the wealthiest people to copy them? And I'd highly recommend that you join us for our Chief Investment Update next Wednesday. And for the wealth hackers and the masterminders, I've got a unique experience afterwards where we've got a special guest in James Painter, where we're literally going to be interviewing him, talking to him, Q&A about where the market's going, what's happening in the world, and what do we do as investors. And that's a classic example of how you can get someone somewhere 70% faster, quicker, and simpler. Till next week, have a wonderful time. Cheers.